So a while back, Huawei did an online launch where they detailed the brand new Huawei P40 series of smartphones. The one we have here is the P40 Pro, and we've been using it for about nearly 2 weeks right now. And here is our experience that we want to share with you. So first off, I think we should talk about the color of the P40 Pro first. It comes with a few different colors available for you to choose from, but the one we have here is called the deep sea blue color. For some reason, I really like this color a lot. It's a mixture between emerald green, turquoise, cyan, and it just gives off a very calming, soothing color. And then when I picked up this Huawei P40 Pro for the first time, the first thing that I realized is how small the form factor is, and also how heavy the phone is. It's a very dense, compact phone, which is kind of messing with my expectations in terms of its density. For what I would expect is a bit more lightweight for this kind of form factor, but well, Huawei did a really good job in terms of the build quality as well, because this phone has a really nice curved body across all 4 sides at the back and also the front screen. There is also a humongous notch at the top left corner of this screen right here, which is housing the brand new autofocusing selfie camera and also a 3D TOF camera for beautiful portrait shots of your selfies. However, I do think that the notch is a bit too big. I am not sure why is it so big, and through reflections you can see that there's actually quite a lot of blank space there. I'm not too sure why Huawei is doing this, but we'll have to deal with it. And this time around, Huawei also opted for a 6.58-inch OLED display, which I think is very beautiful, and it also supports both 90Hz refresh rate and also HDR10. That's fantastic if I can find HDR10 content to stream on this phone. Because you see, the Orange Man said no to Huawei for using Google Apps, and so Huawei developed their own Huawei mobile services. And it's even stated at the bottom of the box here too, by the way, it's using Huawei mobile services. And that leads us to the Huawei app gallery. Huawei has been hard at work in adding more apps into the app gallery itself, which I think is commendable because currently they do have quite a lot of apps. However, some essentials for me personally, like Twitter app and also Facebook Messenger, they are not natively available on the Huawei app gallery, so you will have to opt in for third-party app stores to get those apps instead, which I think is kind of extra unnecessary steps, but you can do it anyway. And I just got a brand new email stating that the McDonald's Malaysia app is also now available on the Huawei app gallery. When I looked at it, it's actually some sort of direct app stream version of that app itself. You don't have to download it into your phone, which I think whatever works, right? And I can see Huawei's next step is to build off their software ecosystem. So the Huawei P40 Pro now has this brand new feature called Huawei Share, which works with their tablet and also their laptops. So what we have here is the Huawei MatePad Pro, the brand new one, and also the Honor Magic Book. What's interesting is that you can link this phone using that multi-screen collaboration feature, and then you can use your laptop to control your phone or the tablet to control your phone. So everything is integrated into one product, so you can just use one keyboard and one mouse, or maybe just one screen in general, to control every single device. And that is just something unique from Huawei, and I would like to see more this kind of cross-platform software integration, which will further improve the user experience. Okay, so now for the cameras. Like any other Huawei P series of smartphones, the cameras are very important. However, the movement restricted order is it's just not helping, because we cannot go out and take some beautiful pictures with this smartphone. So we have to make do with whatever we have around us that's near us. So starting off with the outdoor shots, the main camera looks fantastic. It's sharp, the colors are good, and also all the details are there. And the white balance is also good because Huawei now has a white balance sensor on the P40, which is integrated right beside the flash module at the back of the phone. And as for the ultra wide camera, I think it's okay. It's not particularly the best, and it also has autofocus, which really helps to keep that picture in focus. And now comes the periscope camera on the Huawei P40 Pro. It can have up to 5 times optical zoom, which I think looks great when you zoom into 5 times. However, when you start to go into 10 times, zoom, then the picture starts to look a bit blurry. It's still fine, I guess, it's usable in social media, but the details are starting to get fuzzy. But anything beyond 10 times zoom, then the details would just start to disappear. So I thought to myself, since this phone does have AI, why not take picture of text? Because if you have the text recognition software built into it, then it can start to clean up the text and make it even more readable. So that's what I did. I take picture of text at 30 times zoom, and the text actually looks very readable, and I would say I would give it a pass because I can see that its AI is actually doing something. And when the night comes, well, the main camera's night mode is very impressive as expected from Huawei. There are a bit of loss of details at the right side of this picture, but it's a busy scene, so my shaky hands is not really helping as well, so I would give that a pass. But when you start to use the ultra wide angle camera with night mode, then the picture starts to get a lot darker and the white balance has shifted quite a lot, which I'm not sure why, because it just looks very blue. And we also tried using the periscope camera with night mode and the pictures just turns out very noisy. Why is that? Well, it's actually because Huawei locked you down to use digital zoom. Why that's happening, we don't exactly know, but from what we can infer, it might be because of that super tiny aperture on the periscope camera, which is just an inherent problem with physics in general. Huawei also integrated some fun features like removing the reflections of your pictures, which it does work, but depending on what type of picture you're taking and your mileage may vary. It does work on some pictures, but it doesn't work on all pictures, which is to be expected actually. And as for the selfie camera, well, Huawei did a good job this time because they've finally added autofocusing feature for the selfie camera, and now we can take super sharp selfies of our face and then beautify it until we are unrecognizable. As for the specs of the Huawei P40 Pro, here they are, and it's still going to top your benchmark charts, but it's not going to be number one because it is always the golden standard, Snapdragon being the first, and then comes the Exynos and then Kirin. And this time is no different as well, but the benchmarks don't really make much of a difference anyway because all these kind of flagship smartphones will provide you the best experience that you can get in today's standard. And after our usual list of benchmarks, we redid all of those benchmarks again, but this time with 90Hz and performance mode turned on. And as you can see, there are some performance boosts when you turn on performance mode, which is to be expected. But curiously, VRMark does not scale up in terms of the average frame rate when I do turn on 90Hz. So I was worried if Huawei had some shenanigans up with their refresh rate claim. So I fired up some games and tested the refresh rate as well. And then I exhaled in relief knowing that the Huawei P40 Pro can run games, if supported, at 90Hz without an issue. And as for the battery life, the Huawei P40 Pro does come with a 4200 mAh battery. It is not the largest in terms of this kind of flagship smartphones nowadays, but I do appreciate that Huawei is still putting a battery that's larger than 4000 mAh in a flagship smartphone like this. As for the battery life, it's not bad, it can last you throughout the day and more in 60Hz refresh rate. But when you turn it on to 90Hz, well, things start to get a little bit interesting because the Kirin 990 chipset does take quite a big hit as it reduces about 2 hours in our battery life test, which is quite significant. But fret not, because the Huawei P40 Pro does come with Huawei's supercharged charger, which outputs a total of 40 watts in total, and it can charge the phone from about 10% battery life to about 100% in just about 60 minutes, which I find it to be real good, and this type of fast charging technology can potentially save lives. So all in all, the Huawei P40 Pro for the price of 3,899 ringgit, I would say I can only suggest this phone if you know what you're getting into, because the camera might look nice, the performance might look nice, and the overall build quality might also look nice, and the color, oh, I really like this color as well. But I do find it kind of difficult for me to migrate over from Google's mobile services over to Huawei's mobile services because I do a lot of work on my phone, and missing apps might potentially hinder my workflow, which is just going to be frustrating for me personally. Your mileage may vary, maybe all of your apps that you use on a daily basis is already available on Huawei mobile services, which congratulations to you, you can migrate over to this phone without any issues at all. And that's all we have to say about the Huawei P40 Pro. It's a nice phone overall, the camera does need a bit of tuning, especially in terms of the white balance, but overall it's just too bad that this phone does not have Google apps, which I do hope that HMS can catch up, but as of now, we do have to live with third-party app stores. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. We'll try to answer them whenever we can. And we'll see you in the next video.